Welcome to another edition of Eye on Education. I'm your host, Ed Leicius, and today we're exploring a program that isn't new. It's known by a new name, and it actually has a new director. We're talking about the Career Technical Education Program, or CTE, and Helayne Tallbott is the new director here in Nashua. She's been around. She's been at, we were talking before coming on the air, at all levels, elementary, middle, high school, and now you're back over the district. So congratulations and welcome, Helayne.
Thank you.
So a little bit about your background. How did you get to where you are today?
Yeah. I started out I started out in early childhood at a child care center. I started out as a teacher, and then I became the director. And Mary Ann Dustin, who's an assistant director a long time ago, approached me at my child care center and said, do you know anybody that would like to teach early childhood to the high school students? And I said, yes, maybe me. And so I became a teacher at the high school teaching early childhood, which is now called Careers in Ed. I stayed there for 3 years, but administration is sort of where I wanted to be, so I became a headmaster and then an assistant principal at Nashua High South. I was there for 12 years, and then I felt like maybe I needed a change, so I went over to the middle school. I was at Fairgrounds Middle School for 3 years as an assistant principal with Sharon Coffey, and then an opportunity came up for a principalship at New Searles Elementary, which was an amazing experience, an amazing staff, an amazing school. I was there for 6 years, and then I got a little antsy again. And literally, I was at a party with some friends, and they were talking about the position of CTE director, and it sort of just hit me. It was like a light bulb went off. And so here I am. Going back to the high school was coming back home. So it was full circle. And I believe I'll stay here until I'm ready to retire.
And the programs that you have, there are a vast array of them. Over time, they've gained in significance and popularity, whereas before, if a student wasn't planning to go on to college, they were put in one of these tech ed programs, and that got them through school, and all was good in the world. But today, given the importance of the trades and everything, you're right up there with the college programs.
Absolutely. I think workforce development sort of has been driving that. There's just not enough people in the forces. Healthcare right now is desperate for students. As you know, construction. There's just so many holes right now that they can't fill. So I think people are becoming more innovative about how they get workers into the workforce. And the pathway from the high school to some of these careers is literally just a step away. It just opens the door. They get out of high school and they're making more money than people that went to 4 years of college. So it's quite an opportunity. I always think even if the students take the courses and decide this is not the path they want to go, at least they don't waste their money at college. So for some kids, it doesn't work out, and that's fine. You tried it and then you move on. So I think in some ways it's exploratory, and in many ways it's just pathways to great career opportunities.
And with the, for lack of a better word coming to mind, or the revamping of the CTE program in Nashua, you come in. Right now, it is just you, whereas in the past there was a director, assistant director, but you have support staff. But
yes.
What's your biggest challenge right now as you've come into the job?
Think going back and forth to the schools, I'm trying to really get to know, both staffs. So both schools going back and forth is a challenge. That's not even, I think the biggest challenge is there's so many pieces of this position that I'd like to focus on. The community involvement is key. Parent involvement. I want to get to the middle schools and talk to the middle school kids about coming up. So there's just so many pieces that it's hard to decide, where the priority is. But right now I'm just getting to know the staff. I have great support staff. And the plan is to add positions to this center just to figure out what the right positions are. And so that's what I'm doing right now.
What's the most popular program offered here in Nashua?
We had several programs, to be honest, oversubscribed this year, which is the worst.
Wow.
I have kids come into my office crying. I would say electric is full all the time. Automotive is full. Cosmetology is full. Culinary was full. Health occupations was full. A lot of our programs are full. And I think, as you know, we have area school students that come in as well. So we try to, save them approximately 30% of the seats. So there are times that kids can't get in, and they're really bummed out because they've waited, a couple of years to get in, and they can't get in. So we have quite a few number of programs that are very popular.
Now, do they traditionally start as freshmen when they come into the high school, or at what point in their high school career are they eligible to move into a career program?
So it used to be, when I taught, which was 15 years ago, it was juniors and seniors, but we've sort of changed that to sophomores. Some of the programs we do allow them to start as a sophomore, and then what happens is they can take the first year as a sophomore, the second year as a junior, as a junior, and then the third year we sort of get a little creative with either an internship or an extended learning opportunity, which allows them to just expand and take what they learned in the first 2 years and sort of apply it in the field. So that's been getting more popular.
And there are a lot of collaboration going on amongst the various trades in the city and in the area.
Yes.
And I know before we came on, you had said that you're hoping to expand the collaboration to existing areas as well as some other areas that you really haven't touched upon yet.
No. So the money that we get to support the programs, which is federal money, the Perkins grant, there are certain requirements in these programs that we have to meet. And one of the requirements is to have industry representatives being part of our advisory groups. And what those representatives do is they come into the programs and they look at our equipment, they look at our syllabus, they look at what we're teaching, and they sort of give us ideas if what we're doing is on the right track with industry. If things change, things get obsolete. So that partnership is just so important to keep our programs up to date, and technology changes. So definitely looking to expand that in certain areas. Right now, manufacturing is a booming field, especially in southern New Hampshire. I'd like to get some more people on board for that program. All our programs could use, new community members. Speaking about collaboration, my engineering students and a few of my HVAC students, the second year students, they're going to be part of a contest with the New Hampshire Department of Transportation, and they're going up to Concord and they're designing bridges with engineers. So that sort of collaboration is awesome. The kids are excited, and it's a real world. I mean, talk about, applying what they learn. So those are the kinds of things that we're looking to expand to.
And it's, classroom education and study isn't for everyone.
No.
And this is an actual hands-on, and
Exactly.
as you say, working with a state agency on design of bridges in the state.
Exactly.
That was near impossible just years ago. Like I say, when these programs weren't considered top tier.
Right. Right.
HVAC, you said, is a big area.
Yes.
And how challenging is it to get teachers for these programs with those types of backgrounds and certifications?
Yes. In terms of our HVAC program, I am thankful every day for our instructor. He happens to teach also at the Manchester Community College. He's extremely active in the community in terms of HVAC, and he has a lot of community partners. It is extremely hard to get people to come in, especially, I think more so the construction programs, because my husband's an electrician and he's getting up there, and I could use a second, teacher, and I keep saying to him, just come to the high school. But these guys, they don't know about teaching kids. It's a hard transition. I just hired a auto tech teacher, And he basically has been an auto tech for 30 years. And he was my auto tech. And so when I talked to him, I said, hey, any chance you'd want to become an advisor, a teacher? And he said, what? Wait, what? And he said, and he basically said, my back hurts, my legs hurts, my arm hurts. Maybe I will look at that. And so that worked out awesome. One of the things that Nashua and a lot of the other districts have started doing is that we base the salary on experience in the field as well. So that has been helpful. At one point, these people would come in and they'd be on the teacher salaries. So, the starting teacher salary is low 40s. And these are people that are making, 6 figures. And so that was tough. So we've sort of made gains in that area, but it's still a challenge to get people in those positions.
And it's not like the old days where teachers in these areas would come and they'd be there forever.
Right.
I think of former Mayor Davidson's father, Leon, who ran the automotive program at Nashua High like forever.
Right.
And you had Max Gowan and Fran Tate in mechanical drawing.
Right.
Roland Terrian. And they came and they stayed.
Right.
And they were really experts in their field. Well, now, not everybody's going to school to become a teacher in those areas.
Exactly.
So you do have to go to the private sector. And as you say, they're used to getting their hands dirty every day and
Exactly.
not dealing with teenage adolescents.
Exactly.
I'm guessing if they're in the program, they want to be there. So
For the most
that's
part.
part of it. That's part of it, I'm sure. But there are still challenges. Do a number or any of your students go on to the community colleges, or do they go
yes.
right into industry when they graduate?
So I think I could say the majority of our programs right now are part of the college just in the high school, so it's called dual enrollment.
Oh.
And so many of our classes have dual enrollment agreements with different colleges. A lot with the Nashua Community College system, but we also have relationships with Riviera and Southern New Hampshire, up to NHTI, Great Bay. So all the colleges in New Hampshire recognize these programs. And for instance, with NCC, we have a lot of dual enrollment programs, and the students don't pay anything. And so they're getting college credits. So that's a big draw for the students. And so then if they do decide to go on to college, they can start with anywhere between 3 and I'd say 9 credits off the bat. Some of these programs, like the electrical program, they need a certain number of hours to get their cards, and they're receiving their hours right in the program. So they're stepping into these careers, whether it be the college or the careers, just that much more ahead of anyone that hasn't taken the program.
You mentioned healthcare earlier. What are the offerings in healthcare in your program?
So right now, the students can choose to do an LNA track, which majority of them do, which means they become an LNA within the program at the end. We do have a couple of students that are looking at pharmacy tech, so they'll be working at a local CVS. We have students that are working with a local PT, so we have students that want to be PTs. We have one student that's looking at dental assisting, so we're getting them in a dental office. So that has expanded. My daughter took the program, in 2010. She became an EMT. Right now, we have not been able to find another firefighter or EMT that we can tap into to teach that strand, but it's something that we're always looking at. So it sort of goes by what the kids want to do. So if we have a kid that comes in and says, I want to be a pharmacy tech, then we will go out and see what we can do.
So you really kind of customize the program.
We try to.
Where you can.
We try to. And our students go to a couple of the other centers in the area.
I was going to say, well, we
Yes.
take students in from the area. That's the nice part about CTEs. There are a number of centers around the state of New Hampshire.
Exactly.
From all the way up in Whitefield,
Yes.
down here in Nashua.
Yes.
And they're interchangeable in terms of the students' abilities to go. If you don't have a program or an opening here,
Exactly.
they can go to a school in the area.
Exactly. So for instance, Alvern has like a vet tech program. So I have some students that go over there. They have welding, so we have students that go over there. So it definitely goes both ways. Something that's happening right now that's sort of exciting, I'm super excited about it, is I just hired a new culinary teacher, and she happens to be a graduate of the program. And not only a graduate, but her teacher was the person she's going to be teaching with. So she went off to the Culinary Institute of America, and she is an amazing pastry chef, which our current chef is not, that's not his forte. So we are super excited. And I feel like for the students, it's such a message there that, you go to school to be a chef or a cook or a pastry chef, and who knows, you may become a teacher someday.
Well, I've had the occasion, because we had a daughter that went to Marist to go to the Culinary Institute in Poughkeepsie.
Yep.
And in 4 years, we were only able to get in there twice because of the demand of
Right.
people going in there to see the cuisine and
Yep.
taste. And I remember when Nashua first opened Nashua High School, where South is now. It was the programs were expanded, and that's when culinary arts first came into being.
Right.
And a gentleman by the name of Fred Delozier was the first culinary arts teacher.
Yep.
And the teachers loved him because they could go there and they would get lunch that the kids prepared, and he had some great, as well as his pastries.
Right.
And I mean, he kind of set the benchmark.
Yes.
And today it's expanded, and it's great stuff. And who knows where these kids are going to wind up? But here's an example: students come back and is now in the
Teaching
program.
the program. Yeah.
What about childcare? You started there.
Yes.
Is that the Purple Panther preschool? Is that
It is
yours?
Purple Panther Preschool, and the second year the students go out to the elementary programs. I think that's changed a little bit. We have students that want to work with special ed students, with identified students, so we try to get them in that sort of track. But we have students all over the city at all the different elementary schools in the second year. In the first year, they're working in our preschool that is an inclusive preschool, so there is special ed students that are identified and typical students. And it's a great opportunity. I mean, look at me. I started there and
Look where it got you.
right, went a different path. I would love to quantify the number of teachers right now that have been through the program. There are many teachers in our district right now that went through that program. So the percentage of students that stay in the first year, go to the second year, and then become teachers is very high. But even like my daughter, who was not in the program, she went to North and did an internship with the special ed department. And from that internship, decided that she wanted to be a speech pathologist because she worked with students, receiving speech. And so all these sort of internships and extended learning opportunities, these are perfect opportunities for students to see what they want to do. Or again, what they don't want to do.
Well, it gives them an opportunity. That's right. And you're just into your first year.
Yes.
In this position, but you know the district. You've been on all levels, so that I'm sure is helpful. And you want to expand your advisory boards.
Yes.
So any business person or tradesperson who may be watching us today, is there a particular area that you'd like to have more expertise from? Or
I think all areas. So for instance, speaking of careers in education, we've had the same advisory board since I was there, which is amazing because those are the people that are so committed to early
Right.
childhood. But it'd be nice to get some new people on that board. Definitely manufacturing, I'm looking for people. I think all across we would look for people. Restaurants that want to be part of culinary. Cosmetology has a very a nice board, but we can always use new people. I think it just changes it up. They actually do recommend that you change the packs up every 3 to 5 years, which I'm not sure that we necessarily do that. But it brings in new ideas, so it makes sense, In addition to expanding the PAC meetings, the advisories, we are also, and I would say almost desperately, looking for internships for our students. So if they could be paid internships, that would be amazing, but doesn't even have to be paid, but just opportunities for students to get work-based experience. So whether it be every day for, one block a day, maybe the last block or the first block of the day, they go to, a veterinarian or a pharmacy or even a retail store for kids that are looking into marketing. We're looking for that. I'm definitely looking for electrical internships. That's been a challenge. It's a challenge sometimes in construction because these guys wake up 6:30 in the morning, they go to a job site. So it's hard to sort of collaborate with a high school student. So I've had this brainstorm recently that I need to find companies like maybe the hospitals where I can get like electricians into a building where they're there all day.
Right.
So I am definitely looking to expand that, that piece of it.
Well, if someone wants to contact you, if they can help, how do they do that?
They can email me. It's Tallbott, H for Helayne, at nashua.edu. Or they can call me at 966-1113. It's a pretty easy number. And get in touch with me. That would be amazing. I do plan on meeting with the Chamber of Commerce. I'm doing all sorts of field trips that I've never imagined in my life I'd be doing. I'm going to a construction field trip tomorrow. So I'm trying to put myself out there, but the more people, contact me, the better it would be.
Well, it sounds like you've hit the ground running. You've got things going well, and congratulations.
Thank you.
And good luck to you.
Thank you.
We've been talking to the director of the Career Technical Education Programs, CTE, in the Nashua School District, Helayne Tallbott. And we thank you for watching this edition of eYe Education. I'm your host, Ed Leishus, and we'll see you next time.